G'day YouTube, Turbo Tristan here. Welcome back to the channel. Sorry that we didn't have an episode for you last week, but there was nothing to film. This week we've got some stuff to film, so plenty of things over here to show you. So let me take you over here and see what we're going to do today. So today we're actually going to be working on the CU2, the Accord just back there. But I thought I'd show you some of my haul so far. I think that's what influencers and Instagram things say, their haul. So these are some of the parts I have already. I've ordered pretty much everything to rebuild the $50 engine, but I've got the block guard, I've got the head gasket, water pump, cylinder hone. I'm going to give that a crack myself. I've got the BC valve springs, upgraded valve springs. I've got a new rocker cover here. I've got some paint, wrinkle paint, black and another color. And then I've also got the modified intake manifold. I've got a timing belt. So it's just a matter of waiting for things to come in. So I've gotten rid of all of the outlets on there. And I've added a baffle system in here, which that's completely custom. So that's where we're at so far. What are we going to do in today's video? Well, today we're going to do some custom taillight modifications to the Civic and the CU2. A little bit of light fun. This is a very simple mod. Anyone can do it and it's really cheap. $10 to $20 and that's done. It's totally reversible, so nothing to worry about. We're also going to paint the rear roof spoiler for the CU2. So this is it here. It's for the Accord CU2 from MV Tuning over in Russia. I ordered this in February. It only just arrived yesterday, so I'm going to stick that on. It's pretty good quality. I'm very happy with that. It won't really take anything. So I'll give it a clean up first with some wax and grease remover, get all the sticky tape off it. Then we have some dark grey primer, which is the 2K primer. I've got a 2-pack spray can, which has been mixed up by Complete Auto Paints in Springvale. So again, same guys that I used when I painted the whole car in Rattle Can. She's dirty at the moment. And then we have a top coat clear. So in that order. And then we have some Sikaflex to attach it to the windscreen. So that's going to be a pretty simple job. As you can probably see, it's very dark and overcast today. It's very cold, so it's going to take forever for that stuff to dry, but you know, patience is a virtue, so we're just going to let it take its time and get everything done correctly. We're not going to rush it. Now, when I ordered this, I thought I actually ordered the rear deck lid spoiler for the boot and also the rear window spoiler. So it was going to be two spoilers. I saw the picture on eBay from MV Tuning. There was the two of them. They were both black. They were both on a white car. The description said rear roof sun visor, rear lip spoiler, but there was no comma. Now, English to Russian, Russian to English, something was lost in translation. I was under the impression that it was for both, but then again, you know, probably the price was too good to be true. So I jumped on it. I thought it was two pieces, turned up only one. I contacted MV Tuning in Russia and they said it was just for one, so I got screwed. Even if you do read the description, it can still be lost in translation, so kind of sucks there. If it was mine, I would definitely pull out that grille and color code that along with the badge and the rear badge and ditch all the chrome, but such a nice car, I don't want to ruin it, so little by little and we'll get there. So camera down, move the cars around and let's get set up. All right, so cars are switched around now. Here's the spoiler. The first thing you got to do when you order parts like this is check for fitment. Make sure it's not warped or bent or scratched or anything or twisted. All right, so first thing you're going to want to do is take your wax and grease remover, nice clean rag, and give that a clean up. So make sure you splash on heaps of it. Make sure you get all the sticky stuff off. Give it a really good clean up. Because if you don't, this is the stuff that's going to come through the paint later on, and you're going to see all these little bits of sticky tape marks and fingerprints and everything. So this is the initial clean down. Let's clean all the edges that you're going to put paint on. Alright, that's good enough for now. Alright, so what I'm doing now is just making some little tripods for the spoiler to stand on. Just a really budget way of doing that, so it sits up off the bin, which I've covered with a garbage bag. You don't usually see people cover a bin with a garbage bag. Alright, so that's going to balance. Just got to get it nice and dry. Alright, so here's one of my favourite tips when painting in non-ideal conditions, and that is to take your cans of aerosol paint and some boiling hot water, put them in a pot and just tip that in there. Now let that sit for a while. I haven't shaken these up yet, but once these sit in there for 3 minutes or so, roughly, there's no timer, I don't have any scientific formula for it, but you get these nice and warm, means the paint mixes evenly. It's easier to mix when you shake it, and also helps pressurize the can for an even spray. So there's a tip. I'm just going to sit this over here. We'll let that do its magic, and I've got another tip for you. So the next tip is you take your Mrs. really expensive hairdryer that's worth as much as my Civic with the hairdryer. Take this and you've got to heat up the surface that you're going to paint. So make sure that's on, full blast. Let that heat up. And you want to make sure everything's dry. And you want to make sure that's warm. And you want to do this just before you paint. So I'm not ready to paint yet, so I'm going to stop, but you make sure the surface is really dry before you paint on it. Alright, so I've taken the hairdryer, I've warmed up the surface of the spoiler, and the reason why you want to do that is so the primer sticks to it. I've shaken up the can, it's been sitting in the boiling water, so we're ready to go. So what you need to do first is you need to make sure you do a test spray. Make sure there's no blobs come out. And what you want to do is dust that on just really lightly. Always put a little bit extra on the edges. Now I'm using dark grey primer because the car is dark grey. So you can see that it's just a very light coat, and because the surface is warm, it's already starting to dry. Now, it's not to rush anything, but just to make sure you get a nice good stick the first time around. So, and I'm just going to, because it's such a cold day, I'm just going to take the hairdryer that's worth more than the Civic and just give that another little heat up. Just help everything dry. But don't use these on Mighty Car Mods. So I've got the paint and the primer chilling down there in the pot. Now the next pass, I'm going to go a little bit heavier, but I'm also going to try and get under the back of the spoiler a bit better too, because we want to make sure we get a really even coverage. Test spray. I'm going to do underneath. When I do the painting, I'm going to move the spoiler back towards the edge of the bin so I can get underneath it easier. I probably should have thought of that because I'm not quite getting under the middle there. You shouldn't really lay the can sideways or upside down. It makes it spray funny. Another pass on the edges. Get where we can get. It's just started to rain, Murphy's Law, but you can see there, nice even coverage. It's not on too thick. Nice and smooth, you can't see any file marks or sandpaper marks in there, so it's going to come out good. I'm very confident with that. Simple, small thing to paint. All right, so we're back. I've moved the spoiler over so I can get underneath the edge. I've heated up the can. I've shaken up the can. It's ready to put some color on this bad boy. So let's go ahead and do a spray test. Yep, nice and even, no blotches or splotches. Here we go. Yeah, well, let's get underneath here. All right, so that's it for the color. Gonna let that dry off a little bit and then start to hit it with the heat. I'm sure you'll agree, that looks pretty awesome. All right, so it's time to spray some clear coat. This being a 2-pack clear, you need to take little red butt plug and smash it in underneath there. Now you can do it just with your hand, and that what it does is it pierces a membrane in there and mixes the 2-pack hardening resin with the actual clear coat paint. So give that a couple of pumps, make sure it's well and truly pierced the membrane, get rid of that, and now we've got to shake the hell out of this can. While we do that, I'm going to heat up the surface so that it sticks. Again, test spray, nice and glossy. Let's get that on that warm surface. Pack that on nice and thick. It'll level out. Not an ideal day for painting, being how cold it is, but we got to get stuff done. All right, hopefully that sits flat and levels out. I'm going to get a bit of heat onto it, not too close. I don't want to ruin it or blow it around, but yeah, that's pretty bad orange peel, but that's due to the cold, and hopefully that's going to settle soon. All right, so the spoiler's dry. Paint looks good. I'm going to clean up the window. Okay, so I'm just going to put on some Sikaflex, which is the body sealant one. Doesn't really matter about this. We don't want it to, you know, be too crazy. Might want to take it off one day. So that's why I use this. It's not going to blow off. The water and everything's not going to affect it. And it can come off, so just smear that everywhere. It's a lot better than double-sided tape because water gets underneath the double-sided tape and then it just rots, comes apart anyway, start flapping, vibrate when you pump your music up, probably fall off or someone can rip it off, which is no good. So I'm just going to spread that around a bit. Looks like a lot, but I'm just really just smearing around that's already there. I'm just using this instead of my finger to move it all around. So line it up with the edge of the glass as close to you as you can. My side's good. Yours good?
I think so.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now push it down. Alright, so the tape is just to keep pressure on it. This would be pretty crucial if it was, you know, a fiberglass piece that didn't really fit properly. They tend to bend and twist when you don't have pressure on them, but this one's a really good fitment. So it probably doesn't need the tape. but I'm going to put it on anyway just to be safe. Keeps the pressure on. You can see here the color match is pretty good. I'm very happy with that. And once it's dried, we'll get some better shots of it. I really wish the other lip spoiler came, but we did what we could. I'll whack a few more pieces of tape on there, and that'll be it for tonight. We'll come back tomorrow and check out the progress. On the Accord, I haven't decided yet. I'm definitely going to red out this one, so cover that with the red film, and I'll try and see how that goes wrapping around there. If it bubbles or creases, I won't do the edges, but I'll definitely do there. Just a small mod. All right, so I've got one of the reverse lights done. What do you think? Is it an improvement over this to this? I think so. I think it gives it a nice, unique and classy look. I'm going to try and cut out a shape and do this one. Once again, stock standard, and I've modified that. I think it looks really good. However, my sticker job, there is creases absolutely everywhere. So I failed on the corner, but if you stand back about a meter, you can't see it really. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to go over and do the other side now, and I'll bring you along for the ride. So there's no real secret process to this. Basically, to do this side, being that it's just a square, make a couple of snips, trim it up, just like that. Give myself plenty of overlap. This stuff's really cheap, so it doesn't matter if you bodgy it up. Chop down there. Yep. Just keep trimming away until you get close. Could lose even more off that edge. And doesn't matter if you leave a bit of extra. Alright, now we're good to go. Just like any other sticker. Peel off the backing and off you go. It's as easy as that. Now that one's done. I'll make a template for this part again. Alright, so there you go. Quick, easy, cheap mod. $10. We'll do the Accord and the Civic. I've still got some left over, so I'm going to go and stick that over the reverse lights on the Civic. Alright, so the Accord's done. It's time to fix the tail lights, or maybe not fix them, but try something different on the rear tail lights of the Civic. So there they are now. 3 different colours. I'm going to drop that back to 2 different colours. Let's go get the tape. So take 2, no joke, it actually just bucketed down on me. Alright, this one I made a little bit bigger. I redid them. And I'll cut off the excess later on. Red and orange, or the clear stock. I'm actually liking the clear ones now, the stock ones, but the good thing about this is it's removable, so I'm going to stick the other side on. There we go. It's just about to start raining again for the 100th time today. Alright, so there we go. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think I like the standard ones better. We can roll around like this for a few weeks, and then when we get bored we can just peel off the sticker. I've started to accrue some other stickers as well. Alright YouTube, so it's the next day. It's very windy, it's very cold, but the Sikaflex is dried, the spoiler's on, ready to peel this tape off. So let's take it off and see how she looks. I reckon I did a pretty good job of painting that, if I do say so myself. There we go, that's pretty cool. I really wish we had the back lip spoiler for the boot. Once again, I got ripped off there. I thought I was buying the two pieces a set. We're definitely going to get that next, and some side skirts for sure. And we'll see about a rear lip and some front chin spoilers. So here they are side by side with their tail light modifications. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think they look quite good. There's the roof spoiler again. Looks pretty awesome. Might get one for the Civic, not sure yet. Alright, so thanks very much for watching. Sorry we skipped a week, but I wanted to make sure I was bringing you actual content, actual mods, actual updates with some of the parts and things we've got coming. Once again, there is a link below for our Patreon if you want to support the channel. Otherwise, make sure you take your grubby finger, click like, click subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.